Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Erskine the Prophet here to do another video. Today, this video is going to be titled Naked and Afraid, Top 5 Most Loved and Most Hated Men. This video, I'm just going to focus on the men. I'm going to do a separate video for the women because, to be honest, I was having trouble trying to find women that I hated, to be honest. I like a lot of the women on the show. I like the women more than the men as a whole. I do like a lot of the men, but the women just, I don't know, man, they just seem to have a better grasp with certain things than the men do. When it comes to hunting and chopping wood and all of that, gathering firewood, the men are pretty good. But when it really comes down to the, figuring out what's going to help cure an ailment or help somebody get better, the women just seem to be a little better. But anyway, I will get to the women in a separate video, but today I'm going to jump right into it. If you're here, you know what Naked and Afraid is, so I'm not going to waste any time explaining the show, and I'm going to get right into the top 5 most loved men first, and then I'll do the top 5 most hated. And I'm going to start from 5 and work my way up to 1. So, top 5 most loved. Number 5 is Jake. Jake is the big, muscular, gay dude. I thought he was like crazy cool. Real down to earth, really charismatic. I just really liked him on the show. I hope he does another challenge at some point because I liked him. Even when he had to set his partner straight, he did it in a constructive way and got on point. And that's the way it should be. People are gonna have problems, disagreements. People come from different backgrounds, so I don't, mind people getting into it or having disagreements. But it's all about how you communicate and come together and work together as a team. That's what I love to see, as I'm sure many of you like to see as well. Moving on. Oh, yeah, but Jake. Anyway, Jake is a guy. He's from Maryland, too. So hopefully, maybe one day I run into him, we can have a beer or something. Number 4 is Steven. Steven is the young guy. He had done a challenge with a young, blonde, pretty lesbian girl, small. And I love Steven. Steven has actually done several challenges and has been successful. And all of them, he seems like he's a real badass. First of all, the dude is no joke. He can survive in pretty much any situation. And then on top of that, he's just really, really cool. I don't think I've ever seen him even get angry on the show, on any of the challenges. He just has a very positive vibe all the time and just seems to be crazy cool. Another guy I would love to have a beer with, smoke a joint with, whatever. But actually, every guy on this list I would love to have a beer with, smoke a joint with, to be honest. But anyway, number 3 is Jeff. Jeff was on the XL challenge. Actually, had done another challenge as well. But the reason why I have him on this list is because of what he did on the XL challenge. Jeff is a badass hunter. And, there's more than one Jeff. There's actually a Jeff on my most hated list, too. This is Jeff. Not to be confused with Geoff. But anyway, Jeff was catching these eels. And I'm not talking like an eel like this or, like this. I'm going to turn this way. I'm talking an eel like this. Something you got to drape over your shoulders. They were so big. And he caught like a bunch of them. And he shared them with the other team, even when the other team wouldn't share anything with him and his partner. And Jeff just really showed me something about how good of a person he is, how good-hearted of a person he is. And that's the thing with this show. I like people who help people, who build people. I really don't like the people on here who tear people down and try to get them to tab. I can't stand those people. But anyway, man, Jeff was a real cool dude and definitely deserves the number 3 spot on this list because of just how, how unselfish he was. I was very impressed by his, the way he shared with the other group, even though they didn't deserve it. Number 2 is Gary. I know everybody knows Gary. Gary is the scavenger guy, the guy who, goes around and finds, a lot of dead animals, and actually he's pretty good at finding fruits and vegetables and things like that as well. Gary's number 2 because Gary to me is just a really good-hearted person. If we had more Garys in the world would just be a lot better. Gary is a really good dude, really cool dude. He did a challenge, him and Matt, where they brought 2 amateurs and they had to take care of these amateurs. And just the way that Gary took care of his amateur, you could just, I mean, because she was weak. She was really weak. And he did everything he could to help her. He didn't make her do anything. He did everything for her. You know how like a lot of these guys be complaining, oh, she not doing as much as I do. I'm doing all of the work. You know, Gary didn't complain one time. And you could just see that he really, really wanted to take care of this girl. And, you know, that really impressed me about Gary. And I just think Gary is just a very good person, a really cool person. Number one on my most loved list is none other than EJ, who also participated in the XL Challenge. He was actually Jeff's partner. So there was two really good, cool dudes paired together, and I really, really like these guys. I really do, man. They just are the epitome of survivalists and badasses. And the reason why EJ is number one on the list is during the XL Challenge, Shane's partners had kicked him to the curb. They kicked him out of the group. So Shane was by himself out there, and Shane couldn't survive on his own. And EJ saw that he was in trouble and he was in need, even though him and Jeff really didn't want to take anybody on. He said he couldn't leave a man behind. He couldn't leave a man in that kind of a situation. And he took Shane into their group, and Shane went with them onto the next area they were going to. And, that just impressed me so much. Just another really good person. And Shane was just so appreciative of them allowing him in the group. He actually ended up burning himself out trying to keep impressing them. And it wasn't even necessary, I don't believe. I think they really had accepted Shane, EJ and Jeff. And, that just really, really impressed me. I can't say enough good things about EJ and the kind of person he is. And pretty much everybody on this list I felt were just really good people who really wanted to help their partners, make it through the challenge. So that's my most loved list. Jake, Steven, Jeff, Gary, EJ. On to the most hated. The bastards I couldn't stand in the show. These mother effers got on my nerves. Coming in at number 5 is none other than Seth. Seth was the biggest asshole I have ever seen on the show, bar none, and I've watched every single episode. Seth, I have never seen an asshole like Seth. Now, to be fair to Seth, they did pair him up with a man. Like the way this challenge went was there were 2 men who were going to meet up with 2 women. And they started it off with the 2 men being together and the 2 women being together. And let's just say the women got along much better than the men did. And to be fair, I thought that was kind of dirty how they did Seth. And even his partner Max, for that matter. I thought, because they didn't know that they were going to be paired up with another man. So that's kind of a rough situation to find yourself in. A butt-naked man you got to survive with for I think it was 10 days or 11 days before they met up with the women. But anyway, Seth was a big, gigantic asshole. Damn, he was an asshole. And that's why he comes in at number 5. Number 4 is Jeff, spelled Geoff. This was another asshole. But the thing is with this dude, he was paired up with a woman, and he just was so nasty to this woman. And don't get me wrong, the woman was a little irritating, as I've seen many of the women be a little irritating at times. But it's the way you communicate, the way you talk to somebody, to explain to them, hey, look, you're kind of getting on my nerves. Can you just back off, take it easy? Let's get the challenge done, but we don't have to, constantly, tell each other what to do and how to do it. But Jeff just was a straight asshole to Melissa, I think her name was. She was a Southern girl, and she was real, happy-go-lucky, but I could see how she kind of rubbed Jeff the wrong way at times, but I thought Jeff just handled it terribly. Jeff ended up quitting the challenge, and Melissa went on to make the 21 days. So that's why Jeff is on the list for also being an incredible asshole. The next one is Max. Yeah, some of y'all are wondering how Max might be on this list, because Max was actually Seth's partner. Seth is number 5. Max is number 3 on the most hated list. Well, I'm going to tell you honestly, Max is not my kind of dude anyway. He's not a dude I would ever want to hang out with or anything. But I could tolerate him on the show. But the one thing he did one of the biggest bitch moves I've ever seen on the show. And I had to put him on here because of it. He, him and Seth was partners. Seth was a gigantic asshole. But instead of sitting down and talking to Seth, by this, okay, let me give y'all a little background. At this point, the two men had met up with the two women. One of the women had an eye injury and she had to tap out. So it was just Max, Jeff, and I forgot the other lady's name, big tall lady. Max, Seth, and the tall lady. So Seth went out to hunt. And while he was away, Max told the lady that they were going to rebuild the shelter just for them two, and they was kicking Max out. You know what I'm saying? Kicking Seth out. While Seth wasn't even there. So when Seth comes back, Max tells him, hey, we're building a shelter for two. You got to go. And I just thought that was a straight bitch-ass move, man. That was like one of the dirtiest fucking moves I've ever, that was one of the dirtiest moves I've ever seen on Naked and Afraid. I thought that was like just terrible. Like, I can't stand anybody who would try to stop somebody else's success. I don't care how big an asshole Seth was. You know what I'm saying? If anything, they should have sat down, talked to him, explained to him, like, look, dude, if you can't get it together, then we might have to part ways. They should at least have given him a chance. I thought the way Max did it was real bitch-like and dirty and behind the back, just something, I just didn't like that at all. And if I was Seth, I would have called him. I would have been like, okay, y'all building it for two people, well, it's going to be real cramped because I ain't going nowhere. I'm going right in that shelter with y'all, and I'm going to stay right here. And I'd have pulled Max's card like that. And I don't think Max was man enough. He probably would have just, okay, you went, in my opinion. But he didn't. And Seth ended up having a tap, which I just didn't like that at all. I thought that was pretty dirty of, Seth had to end up tapping. And I thought that was just pretty dirty of Max to do that to him. And that's why Max is number 3 on this most hated list. Number 2 is Nicholas, this dude from Sweden. Man, I couldn't stand this dude. Now, once again, he had a partner that was a little irritating. And I could see how he might have got upset with her at times. But the way he just handled it like a straight bitch. Like she came in there to ask him could she get the knife. The knife was behind him. He was in the tent sleep. And he wouldn't even hand her the knife. And then she just got pissed and was like, man, I want to kill, I want to kill you. You're going to make me want to kill you. Something she said to the effect of her killing him. And she ended up getting taken off the show because of that. And when I heard her say it, I'm like, how can a man take that as a threat? For one, she's out there butt naked. He got the fucking knife. So it ain't like she can use the knife on him. You know what I'm saying? And he just, oh my God, in my home country, when somebody says they're going to kill you, we take that seriously. This little ass, you was really worried about this little ass woman killing you out there on a Naked and Afraid challenge. Her, if her family back home, her husband and her kids, she's going to come out there and kill you. And I think he went back to the producers and got her kicked off the show. And I'm like, man, what? And then after that, he tried to take the fire. Like he picked up the fire, was taking the fire away, like we got to split up. And I just thought he was a real bitch. If that's how the men in Sweden are, man, I guess they a bunch of pussies over there. Because I don't know, man. That dude even the way he talked just rubbed me the wrong way. I did not like Nicholas at all. I just didn't like him. Any man who would treat a woman like that, you're supposed to be protective of a woman in that setting, not trying to. Oh my God, man. Yeah, I just did not like that dude at all. So Nicholas takes the number 2 spot. Now, for my number 1 spot, the guy who I thought was the worst SOB on the entire show was the guy Chris. Chris was also on the XL Challenge. Chris has gotten to it with not 1, not 2, but 3 different women on the show. In all of his challenges, he always seems to get into it with a woman. When he was out there with, I can't remember the partner's name, but, he treated her so bad, she tapped. Then the girl Hawani, I think her name was Hawani, something like that, in the XL Challenge, he's getting into it with her. The same way, telling her to tap. And she ends up tapping. And then Danny, who I think is one of the coolest people on the show, he talking so much crap about her, she ends up tapping. So this clown, you talk about, man, to me, male chauvinist pig is so played, but I just can't even think of nothing better to say about him. If there is a male chauvinist pig on the show, it's definitely Chris. This dude has gotten into it with 3 different women. Never got into it with any of the men, but got into it with 3 different women. So to me, any man who gets into it with women but can't get into it with a man, yo, you a pussy in my book. I can't give you no respect. Man, I slapped the you know what out that dude and wouldn't even care. And hope he fighting. And he a survivalist, so he might be tough. Like I know he tough. Because I will say this about him, Chris is an excellent survivalist. You know what I'm saying? He definitely knows how to go out there and survive. I'm not taking that away from him, but the way he treats women is just unbelievable. And honestly, I can't believe any of the women like this dude. I can't believe any of the women on that show like this dude. Because the things he's done is just downright disgusting and just despicable. I do not like Chris. Chris is the most hated. He deserves his #1 spot more than anybody else on the show, for sure. I almost made this list with him in mind because I wanted to put him at #1 because he's such a big asshole. The way he treated the women on this show, I mean, he's just an asshole. He is an asshole. I can't even believe he would have a girlfriend. I find it so hard to believe that a woman would tolerate his ass. I really do. But anyway, that's my most hated list. We got Seth at #5, Jeff at #4, Max #3, Nicholas #2, and that male chauvinist son of a bitch, Chris at #1. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this on up. I hope you liked the video. If you agree, disagree, please comment. I would love to hear other people's opinions on this. See if I'm in the ballpark with these characters. I will be doing a women's video at some point in the very near future as well, where I also do a top 5 most loved and hated for them. So please like the video. Please, please, please like the video. Please subscribe. Please comment. And everybody, I love y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong. Peace.